podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.
Hello and welcome to the Paddock and the Pavilion with Stephen Wallace. In each show, Stephen will interview someone connected to the world of horse racing or cricket.
Hello everyone. On today's podcast, I'm delighted to welcome back Chris Millard, the Managing Director of the Barmy Army, for one of our podcast update editions. Chris previously appeared on episode 69. Welcome back, Chris.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me back.
Well, I must start by asking you about your prediction for last summer's England versus India Test Series. You said England would beat Virat and the boys 3-1. What happened?
Well, it's still in the balance. We can still draw it. I'm very confident we will. We'll do the business when they come over to Edgbaston, Fortress Edgbaston, with thousands of Barmy Army members there. We'll make sure we draw the series 2-2.
What's your thoughts on England's current form? 1 win out of 17.
It's a shocking spell, isn't it, for the Test side? It's not something anyone can be proud of. I think if you analyse all the games that have led up to where we are now, the incredibly bad record, it's down to the structure and the setup. Unfortunately, the way that they've handled Test cricket over the past 5 years and the prioritisation of the white ball team in the T20 format, but also the ODI format, is come out in the wash for everyone to see now, sadly. And I just hope that if there is change at the ECB at the top when Tom Harrison steps away and someone else replaces him, I hope they realise how much love there still is for Test cricket, and that while the Barmy Army are around and while Test cricket is still the favourite sport for a lot of fans within the game, I hope they can put some more prioritisation behind the red ball team and really give the guys what they need to go and be the number one Test team in the world again. Let's hope it's within the next 10 years. I firmly believe it can be, but it does need a complete reset from the ECB.
And that's a very good point. Do you get, with the Barmy Army or Test tours, get a complete range of male, female and age groups in all the groups?
Yes, yeah, we've got an incredibly good demographic. It's a lot of people assume the Barmy Army is young lads on tour, drinking all day and having a party every night. It's just simply not the case. We've got an incredibly diverse demographic. We've got one lady who's in her mid-70s and she's done the last 28 tours on her own. She's an independent traveller. She comes away, she gets behind the Barmy Army and the England team because that's what she likes being a part of. She likes the sense of community that the Barmy Army brings and the sense of belonging it brings, as well as a single female traveller. She feels safe within the Barmy Army, safety in numbers, and we look after her accordingly. So it is incredibly diverse, and it's a wonderful thing to be a part of if you give it a chance to get involved.
Well, that's a good advert for the interest in Test cricket.
Yeah, absolutely. Test cricket is, for me, it's still thriving. You saw the amount of fans that followed England to the Caribbean. It was phenomenal to see so many people there with arguably one of the worst Test teams we've had for quite a while, still supporting them, getting behind them and seeing them get very close in 2 Test matches. And let's be honest, the West Indies series was lost in 2 sessions of cricket. The first 2 Test matches, we had some really good performances, some really encouraging debuts and some encouraging performances. And then 2 bad sessions in the 3rd Test has cost the series and caused a lot of angst in the media towards the team in the setup. So I think some of it was unfair, but some of it probably was just as well. 1 win in 17 isn't good enough, as the boys will tell you, but there was a lot of positives on that tour as well.
And the Barmy Army, as you say, were back on tour in the Caribbean. What was it like? You went there yourself, being part with the team again, cheering the lads on.
It was a relief, really. I think one thing that COVID's taught us all is you have to savour the good times and make sure you enjoy them. It'd been 2.5 years without a tour. A lot of planning went into it and a lot of effort from the team went into it. And to see people delighted and having such a good time, events being so well attended, people just genuinely grateful and thankful for being on the tour was a real relief and a real memory to savour for everyone.
Were the numbers better than ever because of a delay, and we hadn't been since South Africa early 2020?
That's correct. It was a mix of everything, really. I guess we had the best ever numbers for the West Indies by a landslide, really. There was no Ashes tour, which probably led into some people that saved money to go on the Ashes tour wanted to come to the West Indies. But I just feel there was a real good feel to being able to be back on tour, back supporting England and back doing what everyone loves so much. And I think the numbers we'll see on the next few tours will be incredibly good, because it's what people enjoy and people love following England away from home and watching Test cricket.
And a few new players means a few new songs. Who sets up the new Barmy Army songs for people like Matt?
It was incredible.
Mood, yeah.
Matt and Saqib had songs almost before they bowled a ball in a test match. So it was great. Anyone could come up with a song. It's completely down to people to have a go and come up with a song and take it to the terraces and speak to the trumpeter and say, "Can you play this?" He'll say yes, because he can play everything, and then give it a go. And that happened so organically with Sack and with Matty. It was really great to see.
And you got a new trumpeter as well, haven't you?
Finchy, yeah. Finchy's wonderful. He's headlined Glastonbury 3 times, so being the Barmy Army trumpeter probably isn't his most challenging gig, but he says it's the one he loves the most. It really is passion. He loves Test cricket, and he said he'd much prefer to be on tour with us than at Glastonbury, so that's a compliment, eh?
Well, the weather's probably going to be better if he's on tour with you than Glastonbury.
Well, it depends where we're on tour. We have been to Ireland before, don't forget.
But on a more serious note, how has the Barmy Army been affected financially with the pandemic?
It's been a challenge. We're through the trouble now, and we're through the darker days, if you like. It was really challenging. When we last spoke, we were in the midst of it, weren't we? And it was a troubling time for everyone within the game, not knowing when the next stadium was going to be open for fans and you're going to be able to do what we did know and love. But we're just thankful that we've been able to have a West Indies tour, and we've been able to keep sending people on tour, but also making sure that people can access everything online, still see the Barmy Army, what we're all about and what we're doing. And it's been really well received. The only real, I guess, downside has been no Ashes tour for the Barmy Army is huge financially for the Barmy Army. It's one of the highest. It is the most lucrative tour that we run by an absolute country mile. So that was a shame, but I'm all for resting on the positives and not standing still. So it's all about building towards the next tour and hopefully growing the business into what I think it can be, which is other sports all over the world, and really getting behind the true Barmy Army style of support all over the world.
But you did have some expats who were living in Australia at the Ashes tour. How did that work out?
I think they enjoyed it. The cricket obviously wasn't great, so it was a bit of a challenge. But no, they did a really good job for us. They represented the brand. We've got 2,500 members in Australia. They were flying the flag for the Barmy Army, and they did a really good job in doing that quite well, albeit the team weren't doing the best, but they did a great job of trying to support the best they can.
So you probably gained a few more for the 2025, 26 Ashes tour now.
It will be huge, yeah. We've no doubt that it will be absolutely massive, that tour. It feels like a long way away right now. There's a lot's got to happen before then, but I think that tour is going to be incredible, absolutely incredible. And let's hope it's the English Test team is on a bit of a crest of a wave going into it, and we can have a really competitive series.
Well, let's hope so. Other exciting news, you're sponsoring a team in the Fairbreak International Women's T20 event in Dubai.
Yes, we are. We've kept it under wraps for a while now. Our co-founder, Paul Burnham's been working on this project for probably the last 6 to 12 months, and he's put a lot of time and effort into making sure that we're there to support the women's game, but also support this new initiative, which is wonderful. I think the clue's in the title, Fairbreak, and if we can give our nod or our seal of approval and sponsor a team and really support the growth of the women's game, then we want to do that. We envisage a world where we're taking groups of Barmy Army fans overseas to watch the women's team in the Ashes and World Cup. So it might be a little bit of time away now, but we really do feel that will happen within the next 5 years. And we really want to start supporting women's cricket in a big way.
Well, this event is being played in Dubai between the 1st of May and the 15th of May. There's 6 teams in it. The Barmy Army have got some very jazzy kit I've seen on the website. You've got Deandra Deandra Dottin, who took that fantastic catch against England playing for the Barmy Army team, coached by Lydia Greenway from England, and also Roberta Moretti-Avery, who I've spoken to previously on this podcast, is playing for the Barmy Army team.
We've got a strong side, from all over the world. There's plenty of nations playing in this. We seem to have got a fair amount of some of the key players that have done really well recently in the World Cup. Yeah, we've got some very exciting, talented players. We've got Roberta, who came up with the incredible shot and went viral in the UK all over social media. So I'm hoping to see some Brazilian flair in the Barmy Army shirt during the tournament. And obviously, Lydia, as the coach, is a very experienced person that will know about the Barmy Army and know about the women's game, how we can get the best out of our team and hopefully win the tournament. It'd be nice to see Barmy Army win the first Fairbreak International tournament.
Yes, and I spoke to Roberta earlier, and this is what she said about the event.
Well, I'm really excited about Fairbreak. I remember getting contacted by Sean Martin a few months ago, and I couldn't believe how big the event was when he started talking about 90 players from all over the world playing in these 6 teams and these huge names. When you look at the name list over there, and I was seriously touching, like, I can't believe I'm going to play with this caliber of players. So we're very excited. Me and Laura Cardoso from Brazil are heading over there, and we can't wait to share a lot of experience and learn, isn't it? Learn from all these amazing players. It's going to be a great tournament.
Yeah, you've got 9 countries represented in the Barmy Army team.
9 countries in one team. Imagine that. We have been practicing our calling in English here. Just to make sure that we're not going to say anything in Portuguese over there. Nobody's going to understand.
And what does it mean, though, do you think, for women's cricket?
I think it's going to show the whole world they have the opportunity of playing in big tournaments. I know that we have WBBL, we have the 100, we have all these international players, the Pakistan League coming in now, the Caribbean League coming in. But the 100 shows each country represented over there is going to have players coming back to their squad and saying, this is the opportunity that we have. If we keep playing, if we keep practicing, we are going to be instant role models and show that pathway is not only our national side, it's bigger than that. So I think that's going to create a big legacy in every country that takes part of it. And that's going to be very important for the development of women's cricket overall. I think that's going to be the showcase. For example, Laura Cardoso, she's a 17-year-old player for Brazil. She's just starting. So if she goes well in a tournament like that, she has another 10, 15 years of her career to be fighting for spots on WBL, the 100, the Caribbean Premier League. So I think this is going to be really amazing as a starting point for women. And I don't think we have a tournament, a women's tournament that's represented like that in the whole world. So, yeah, that's why I think maybe I didn't believe it. They started and said, Fairbreak, I never heard of that. What is this? I can't believe that this is real, that they're doing that, but it is.
And playing for the Barmy Army team, you've got some jazzy new kit. They should start a song for you, Roberta.
Oh, I love the Barmy Army. I can't wait to be playing for them. We have a connection from years back, and I can't wait. I'm very excited. The kit looks awesome, but to be there with the Barmy Army, the energy is going to be amazing. So we can't wait.
Moving on, what have you got planned for the summer? We've got lots of cricket, 3 different test series as such. We've got New Zealand, 3 tests, 1 test against India, and 3 tests against South Africa.
We've got an exciting schedule in the UK. There's a lot of cricket going on, a lot of battles to be won. We've got some events going on, cricket games throughout the summer. We've got some golf games going on. Barmy's, the annual Barmy's Awards is day 1 of the Edgbaston Test, where we could vote for the Fans Player of the Year and have a bit of a party with a special guest, which will be a really good event. We've not been able to run that event for 3 years now, so it'll be a special event when we're able to do it again. Plenty going on, and then also there's a Netherlands tour chucked into the midst, so not forgetting that. It'll be a week in Holland. That should be a very fun trip, and a lot of people that can't usually come on an overseas tour because they're too expensive or for whatever reason will be coming on that tour. So it'll be great to see some new faces on tour enjoying what English touring is all about when you're watching cricket.
Yeah, I think most people forget we're playing the Netherlands. That's in May, isn't it?
It's in June, yeah.
Oh, June, is it? Oh, right. And what about some predictions for the 3 Test series to see if you... Well, you've already said we're going to win the Test against India.
Yeah, we'll draw that one. We'll draw that series 2-2. South Africa next, isn't it?
Well, New Zealand first.
New Zealand, then South Africa. So New Zealand, let's go with 1-1. South Africa 2-1.
Right, we'll hold you to that. And,
there you go.
And then in the winter, you're going to be busy, haven't you? Because you've got the World Cup, T20 World Cup in Australia. And then you've got a trip to Pakistan, I guess. We haven't been there since 2005. And then back to New Zealand in early 2023.
Yeah, that's correct. We've got a reasonably good schedule. There's a lot of hope hanging on the Pakistan tour that we'll be able to travel there with fans. The government advice is currently that we can't do that, but we're hoping that will change throughout the year. Depending on the government advice, will depend on whether a lot of the fans go, but no matter what the advice, there will still be a small group of England fans that are there because it's been so long since we were last there. And then you've got a lot to look forward to into early 2023 with what will be, I think, will be a really good New Zealand tour, because we've not been able to get to that part of the world for some time. There'll be quite a few going to the T20 World Cup, but I think New Zealand will be the big one in early 2023 with hopefully two really good test match in one of the most amazing countries that we can ever go to.
Yeah, I'd certainly agree on New Zealand, and hopefully they choose some suitable venues like they did last time when they went to the Mount Maunganui, Hamilton last time.
Absolutely, yeah. We're really looking forward to that tour.
And let's hope you can take some spectators to Pakistan. We haven't been there since 2005, and I'm sure Pakistan would love us to go out there.
They would, yeah. It'd be really well received, and let's hope that the risk factors that weigh into that debate are relaxed, or the issues over there can be sorted with security and transport, etc., etc. And we'll be able to go there. Let's have all of our fingers crossed. There'd be so much demand if people said it was safe to travel. I'm sure of that.
Well, thank you for all that, Chris, and the best of luck for the summer. I'll keep an eye on your predictions. Hope it all works out for the winter. That's a long way ahead. And thank you again for joining me on this podcast update. No problems. Thanks, Stephen. Take care, mate.
Thank you for listening to The Paddock and the Pavilion. You can download the show on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, SoundCloud, Stitcher and Spotify. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram at The Pad and Pav. Don't forget, if you like the show, please do leave us a rating and review.
Sports Social Podcast Network.
Looking for a fun way to win 25 times your money this football and basketball season? Test your skills on Prize Picks, the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projection for a wide variety of stats, and place your entry. It's as easy as that. If you have the skills, you can turn $10 into $250 with just a few taps. Easy gameplay, quick withdrawals, and injury insurance on your picks are what make Prize Picks the #1 daily fantasy sports app. Ready to test your skills? Join the Prize Picks community of more than 7 million players who have already signed up. Right now, Prize Picks will match your first deposit up to $100. Just visit prizepicks.com/play100 and use code play100. That's code play100 at prizepicks.com/play100 for a first deposit match up to $100. Prize Picks, daily fantasy sports made easy.